Are you someone who likes to read books outside, but you find the wind has other plans? If so, I found something that's going to change your life. I recently purchased a book weight that I saw online on Amazon. The product is called Superior Essentials Clear Book Weight for full-size books. The Amazon listing has 3 different sizes, one being medium, small, and large for magazines. So the medium is advertised that it's designed for full books. The dimensions are 12 inches wide by 9 inches tall. So the medium is what we're going to look at today. I thought that this would probably be the best one to choose for my needs. There's also a small on the Amazon listing. It's 9.5 inches wide by 8.75 inches tall. And then the large magazine size is 16.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. Mine, when I purchased it, it's actually coming from America and I'm in Canada. Roughly, it cost with shipping and taxes and the conversion around $40. I did see one online that's made in Japan, so I think this is sort of a copy of that. And the one that's made in Japan appears to be made out of glass. Now this one is pure acrylic. It's plastic. There are pros and cons to having a plastic book weight. Plastic will scratch more easily, but it's more lightweight and you don't have to worry about dropping it and it shattering. Whereas if it's glass, it's more durable, it won't scratch. It's easier to clean, I assume. But with glass, there's the worry that you might drop it and it's not as easy to transport. So it arrived like this in my package in a cardboard box. We're gonna open it up, and what I'd like to do today is just show you comparisons of different kinds of books in different sizes, and then see if the medium works out for those sizes, and also if it actually keeps the pages open. Because I found that there weren't very many videos online of these book weights. There were photos on the Amazon reviews, and it's got quite a lot of reviews, and they're all very positive. There's 217 reviews for this particular one from Super Essentials Store, and it's 4.6 stars. So I thought we'd check it out. So I haven't used it. I've been waiting to do this review. And once I get the plastic off, I'll be really excited to try it out. So yeah, it's in a bubble wrap when it arrived. It was really well packaged, bubble wrap. It says on here, great for hands-free reading, designed with safe rounded corners. Washable book weight provides great protection for cookbooks in the kitchen. So I think the really large one is good for cookbooks, but I do have a couple of cookbooks that we can use. So I'll show you it there. Now, I have a dog, and I just took it out of the packaging and there's already hair clinging to it. So you might find that with acrylic, it's an absolute magnet. So I can already see quite a few hairs on this, but I like to sit outside at the picnic table and read. But what I find is with the wind blowing, I have to put my phone down on one corner of the page of the book and then put a water bottle on the other side of the book so that the wind doesn't blow my pages and I lose my spot. But I'm hoping that this is going to be a great replacement and it'll be hands-free. But obviously if you're a fast reader, I think what'll happen is you'll find you have to lift the book weight quite a number of times because it's just, that's the nature of it. If you need to flip the page, you have to lift the book weight. But yeah, I'm going to try it out with different sizes of books. So I think the first one that they recommend is just your average standard size of book. Now this is a paperback, soft paperback. So I'm gonna, don't know if you can see, but I'm gonna open it to the middle where there's the most amount of balance and just set it there. And the other thing I'd like to try today too, it's not too windy outside, but I will do a couple of shots outside and hope for a windy day so that we can really test it out and see if the book weight holds down the pages. But so far it's doing a really good job, and I like that the plastic, when you hold it, it looks like a bird in flight with its wings and it's bent. It's really nice. It's very aesthetically pleasing. But what I'd also like to do is, if I flip over to just the beginning where it's always hardest to hold the book, it's doing a really, really lovely job. So I'm going to do same with the back and just see if it holds it down. That looks great. I also have a tape measure because just wanted to see if the claim of it being 12 inches wide and 9 inches tall is accurate. So that's exactly 12 inches. And this is exactly 9. Oh, actually. Now, inches aren't my forte, so it's just like a teensy bit smaller than 9 inches. But that's okay, it's still doing a great job. So that's your standard paperback. I'm gonna try the next one. Now this one is probably gonna be, this is where you start to get into uniquely sized books, where perhaps maybe the medium is a little bit too big, but as you can tell, it's doing a really good job, and it's not wrecking the spine of the book. Yeah, I think that's really good if you're outside and you want to be hands-free, but you don't want the wind to be blowing your pages across. So that's perfect. Now I thought this might be a good one to try out. If you've ever read this book, this is such a good book. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to talk about any of the books that I love to read. I'm a big reader. I could do a whole hour just talking about all my favorite books, but yeah, this one's really good. So there's your smaller paperback. Usually with paperback, the really small ones are mass paperback. That's actually a good one to try out as well. Here's a mass paperback. It's holding it just fine. Perfect. A really thin paperback, that's like this you would need to hold with your thumb. But with the book weight, I think the medium is almost the best one to go with, just because of how adaptable it is to all the sizes of books. Now this one is a bit lopsided, obviously you can tell. It's swaying back and forth, but it still keeps the pages open, even if you're on pretty much the first forward of the book. It's holding it down. So although it's acrylic and it'll scratch more easily and it picks up all the lint and hairs, it's still doing a really good job where you wouldn't really need this to be glass. The glass one does look gorgeous, but I think because it's coming from Japan, I think I converted it over. It's like $75, which there is a risk with it being shipped over that it breaks on its way here. Did I test this one? No. So this is another, this is a small hardcover, which is a good size to try out. So that's holding it. It's not lying perfectly down, but yeah, it's doing a fantastic job. Okay, and then if you've got a hardcover, this is usually the most common one that you get, and it's the ideal size. The medium covers the entirety. And I've been noticing that with a lot of these books, the edge of the book weight doesn't interfere with the text, so it doesn't create this illusion where the text is actually cut off or it's obscured in any way. It doesn't obscure anything. It's really good. So That's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to using this outside. Okay, and here's a really big one. Now this one could really hurt somebody with this book. Here we go. That's a 9 by 12 soft cover, but very large book. And if I go to the first couple of pages, so say you're starting your book, windy day, there's a tornado in the distance, I think you'd be fine with this, honestly. There's no problem it holding it. And we're also going to do a couple of the last pages. Yep, it's no problem. It's sitting really well. It's not sliding off. I think the curvature of this acrylic helps to just keep it secure in that crease. Okay. Cookbooks. Well, this one's not a cookbook, but a very neat one. Cool Homes with Dogs. Now, let's turn to the page. A whippet. It's my kind of dog. There we go. So, with this one being slightly larger, we're moving into the cookbook size. You may decide you want to get the very large capacity or large sized book weight, because what you'll notice is with this book being a little bit larger, it starts to obscure whatever text or imagery you have on the sides. But if that's not something that bothers you, you could still save money and get the medium if you're just looking at having your pages held down in the wind. Now these are fantastic if you are using a lot of cookbooks and you don't want to get any food on the pages. Here's another one, a little bit stiffer. Pages almost curl in a way. That's really good. If you go to the end. It's one of my favorite books. It's a really good one. And this one. This is a stunning read. Now this one's a little bit larger, one of my favorites. Allowed to Grow Old by Isa Leshko. There's some beautiful photography in here. That's a cute dog. This is an Irish Wolfhound, age 11. Some really beautiful photography. But this one, now, because of its size, once again, you may decide to get the really large one. If you have a lot of magazines you like to read outside and you just don't like the pages flipping over, this larger size would be good. And last of all, there's a cookbook. This one's pretty hefty. Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice Salad. So there's a cookbook. What I'll do is I'll pull up the Amazon ad. Now the large magazine size, it's a fraction, well, it's a little bit more. It says it's 16.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. 16.5 wide. So 16.5, and as you can tell, my finger right there. So if you do decide 16.5 for magazines, it would be significantly larger, which would cover a cookbook, protect it from any stains, food splashes, things like that. Just keep in mind it's going to be much, much larger. Harder to transport if you're going anywhere, and then 11 inches tall. It's just right there. So if that's what you're into, and you may decide you want the large. And in my opinion, I think the small is probably not ideal, only because you're not going to be able to use it on slightly larger books. Let me see if I can find a really small. Oh, like Jody. Sorry, Abby. Don't mean to wake you up. Okay, so let's try this one. Oh, sorry. Okay. So this is a paperback. A little bit harder to keep it down because of the spine's thickness. But even if I go to the last page here, where it gets a little bit feisty and tries to bounce away, it's holding it. Now, even if you wanted to use your hand in the corner while you're reading to keep that down, you can do that. But we'll do a comparison. So if you decided to get the small, 9.5 inches wide, 9.5 inches wide. So it would be roughly around there, which works perfectly for paperbacks. But then the trouble that you'd run into is your standard paperbacks. Let me just get them. Soft cover, I mean, sorry. This one, if you get the small, it's going to, I think, obscure some of your text. So it'd be roughly around there. And 8.75. So you could technically get away with getting the small even for your soft covers. However, there's going to be a frame around the book, and my worry is that the small might not be able to hold it down as well because it'll be significantly lighter. So I think the medium's your best bet. I'm really pleased with this. I'm going to try it outside as well. Yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. If this is something that would be useful to you, I think it will be for me. I would love to find a sleeve for it so that I can put it in a tote and take it with me if I ever go out for a picnic. I just want to read outside, but yeah, it's a great product. Oh, my legs, help me.